Good morning, my friends. I want to give you a tip for mood elevation today. This is a huge thing. It's one of the most important parts of recovery because the biggest goal in limbic rewiring is to get the stress switch in the brain from being stuck on all the way to off. So this is something I talk about with clients all the time because everyone, when they hear mood elevation, thinks doing fun things, like doing fun activities. And I just hear constantly, but I can't because of my symptoms. And that is not what mood elevation is about. It's about how we're engaging our attention with our sensory environment. Whatever you pay attention to, whatever you focus your attention on, is what you're telling your limbic system is important to you. And that's something you want to keep paying attention to. So if you pay attention to negative things or symptoms, that's what your brain's going to think is important, and it's going to put more focus on them. If you pay attention to positive sensory input, the opposite will happen. So here's an exercise for you to really enhance your recovery and also the maintenance level of recovery. In your day, at any point in time, this could be, you could do this in a visualization, you could do this at a meal, you could do it at a kind of a bathing time, something to do with water that's pleasant. It could be just sitting down, and it could be sitting outside. It could be using music or somatics or intuitive movement, whatever's available to you. It could even be something, I used to do this all the time, but I used to do it even during like breathing exercises, like breathing meditations and things like that. So pretty much anything that you'd be doing in a day, you could apply this to, as long as there's some sort of positive sensory input as an aspect of that experience. And I encourage you to set, it's going to depend on how difficult or easy it is for you to focus at this point, between 5 and 20 minutes. And the ideal is to work up to doing this for a full 15, 20 minutes. But set the time aside when you do this to not be distracted, kind of like when you visualize. And for the duration of that activity, I want you to simply keep bringing your attention back to, or keeping it on as best you can, whatever aspect of that experience feels the most positive, the most pleasurable, the softest, the lightest, the most supportive or relieving or joyful or calm, any positive sense or emotion or any that you're getting from it, any at all. And you can either kind of bring your attention and rest it on that positive thing. You might, have your mind being your limbic system going to all the sensations of the symptoms, or fortune telling, or this doesn't work, and all the, pop patterns in your brain. Keep bringing your attention back to what feels good about the experience you're having, and and you want to get to a point where you can sustain that focus. And instead of just constantly bringing your attention back, it's like you can get on that road and keep yourself on that road and get deeper and deeper, so that you're expanding the experience of softness and pleasure and calm and all those positive sensory details. When you give your attention to something, it expands. So the more that you give as much of your attention as you can to whatever part of this thing is good, it's going to get bigger and feel deeper and give you more dose the more you practice it. It takes a lot of focus and practice. The first number of times you do this, it may not feel very, very good or very amazing, but with practice, it will feel good and amazing. And I really want to highlight that this is what mastering mood elevation is about. Because when you do this and you tell your brain, everywhere we go, this is what you're doing. You're telling your brain, everywhere we go, we're going to focus on something that feels good. That's what I want you to pay attention to. Your reticular activating system is the part of your brain whose job it is to bring your attention to things that are important to you. This is that whole thing where, if you start shopping for a yellow Jeep, you see yellow Jeeps everywhere, even though you'd never noticed one before. Your brain's designed to pick up on things that are meaningful to you and have an impactful emotional meaning or relevance. So you start to walk around the world as you practice this more and more, automatically and effortlessly noticing everything that feels good. And when you keep bringing your attention to that and leaning into the dose and trying to just even imagine yourself soaking it in like you are an infinite sponge with an infinite ability to receive goodness and pleasure, and just imagine it like soaking into your pores. As you do that, you create this way of being where in later stage recovery and maintenance, your brain is automatically creating dose for you all the time. It's like the best form of passive income you could possibly have in the world. And that is largely as well what keeps us grounded and keeps us recovered. Because when that's your automatic way of being and you notice that you're spinning it, you're going to notice when you start spinning in your head. You're going to notice when you're stressed in your mind and you're not in your body anymore and you're not in dose, because you're used to being in dose. And that's really important for later stage in maintenance to have this for a number of different reasons. So that's what mood elevation is really all about. And one exercise you can do to really supercharge every bit of mood elevation you do. Love you guys.